Let's bring Monique in.
How you doing?
How's it going?
It's going wonderful, baby.
Is this your sister? Because I hear your sister is your manager. At least I heard that once. Is that?
Where'd you hear that from?
It's in my prep, but I don't know if that's correct or not. Am I wrong about
baby.
that?
No.
I heard that no, I'm sorry. I heard your sister was your assistant and your brother was your manager. That's what I heard.
Oh, my God. He's gone back about 20 years.
Oh, okay. So this is a long time.
That's a long
now
time
you don't
ago.
have the family doing all this stuff
Well,
for
I
you
still
anymore.
have family, but it's not my brother and sister.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you still, is it difficult to have family members involved in your business like that? Or does it make it easier?
Well, it really depends on who the family is.
Yeah.
And it depends on their work ethic.
Yeah.
If they have a great work ethic, you don't mind.
Yeah.
If they don't like going to work Monday through Friday, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This your guy opening up for you?
Go
Oh,
ahead.
talk to him.
That is me, sir. Tone X is the name.
Tone X.
Yeah.
All right. Good morning, Tone X.
Good morning, kind sir.
Monique is you've had a very interesting life.
I've had a very interesting life.
A tough life in some aspects, but a lot of ups and downs in your life. You were
Tell me about it.
well. Tell me where you grew up. I'm not sure.
I'm from Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore. Okay.
Yes.
And tell me, did you grow up with your mother, father, both parents, one
I
parent?
grew up with both parents and brothers and sisters.
How many brothers and sisters
Two
do you?
brothers and one sister.
Can you bring the microphone just a little bit closer to you so I can hear you?
Two brothers
There you
and one sister.
go. 2 brothers and 1 sister.
Yes.
You
Rob Lee, you on TV. You see yourself right there? Yes, indeed, baby. Look at that. Yes, indeed.
She's like, I would have put more makeup on and outfits and all that sort of stuff if I would have known. Where did the genesis for the inspiration into comedy come from?
You know, I think it was actually on a dare from my brother. He tried to be the stand-up comedian. And, baby, when I tell you he was bad, he was bad. And I teased him, and he dared me.
Yeah.
And that's been over 25 years ago.
You know, I've heard this story a couple of times from comedians who almost have said similar stories that they got up there as part of a dare, that their friend told them, I'll bet you $20 you won't go up there and do that. And then they get up in there and do that. Almost inevitably, they go up there and they bomb, but they get some sort of a rush out of it, I guess, or they figure out, oh wow, I really like that. Did you bomb the first time that you did it?
The first time, knock on wood, I got a standing ovation.
Get out of here.
First time, I got a standing ovation. Tone, how was your first time?
My first time was great. I got a standing ovation as well. Somebody told me, you think you're funny all the time, why don't you go on stage and do it? And I did it.
Yes.
And it must have worked.
Yes.
Because it's 20 years later,
Come
and we're
on
still
now.
doing it.
And we're still doing it.
Well, did you have prepared material ready to go? Did you?
Well, when it's your first time, you don't even know what preparation is.
Right.
When it's your first time on stage, you don't understand the preparation, or what you have to do to get into it. You just know you're going up there to have a great time.
Right.
And we've kept that with us through the years. We go up there and have a great time. Though we prepare differently because we're vets in the business, but when we get up there, it's just about having a great time and allowing the people in the audience to have a great time.
When I first got into radio, I was just I didn't do a talk show. You start out doing a disc jockey, or you're doing midnight to 6 a.m. playing 100 songs an hour. You talk for 20 seconds, and if you talk more than that, the guy running the station yells at you. But I would hear morning shows, and I go, that's really what I want to do. I want to do a talk show. And you'd hear guys like Howard Stern or whoever, and you go, I could do that. That's no problem. Then I got the opportunity to do it, my first talk show that I did. And it went great for 2 or 3 days, and then all my stories were gone. And I go, now what the hell do I talk about? I didn't realize how difficult it was.
Well,
So the first time you go up and you do stand-up, you might go, wow, I got up here. I had something in my mind that I wanted to do. Then you realize, oh, I have to put together 45 minutes, an hour or something of this?
I'll say this. It was not my first show. It may have been, I'm going to say, like my 4th show. And it was this spot in Baltimore. What was the spot across from Bryce's? It was right across the street on Ricestown Road from Bryce's Hilltop Inn. Not come all the way down. Come down where Don Mars was. And it was like a little club. It was this little club in Baltimore off of Ricestown Road, okay? And they wanted me to come in. This was one of my first paid gigs, so I was really getting ready for my first paid gig, okay? Now, it's a nightclub. I have to keep saying that to tell you why I said what I said. It was a nightclub. And when I first started, I was a cusser baby from what? I would just cuss. I would say every cuss. It didn't have to make sense. I just could cuss, and I would cuss. Well, this night, baby, was church night. Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. And I was up there. When I tell you, I was saying all of them. I was doing combos, MFBs, BFCs, KDDs.
Now, what's the reaction
baby.
from the church night crowd?
Listen, they started doing the cross sign, but it was two drunk ladies on the side. Baby, them two drunk women, they listen. They said, go on, sugar, say it. And then they would say, praise the Lord. After everything I said praise God. Praise God.
We do this thing called, actually it's next week as a matter of fact, this thing called Roverfest, which is a big festival, and it's just a big beer drinking festival, concert, that sort of stuff. And this year we don't have a comedian do it, but in the past Jim Florentine has done it. I forget who else has done it, but they'll do like just a short 15-minute set, which is difficult because you're doing it in front of 15,000 people, and they're drunk and they're it's not paying attention and that sort of stuff. But he actually did pretty well with it. One year he's up there and the same thing. He's just mother effering this and using the C word for chicks, vaginas and that kind of stuff.
Why do when men say vaginas, they all say a pause like vaginas? It's okay.
Because we never say it unless we're around a woman. Guys around each other.
What do you say when you're not around women?
The P word. The P word.
The
it's
P word.
Always the P word. Yes. Right, Dieter?
Yes, always. Never the V word.
You never say vagina. If it's just two guys talking, you never say vagina.
I actually like the P word better because vagina sounds like
technical.
Yes, it's so technical.
That's why we get so. But in front of women,
it sounds like there could be something wrong.
Right,
girl, you got that vagina.
You better go get that checked out.
You better go get that checked out.
Got a shot for that.
But in front of women, I don't want to, be crass. But so Florentine's doing his act, and it's just every vulgarity you could imagine, and then this big cruise boat comes in, like one of these sightseeing boats. It's super huge, has like 500 people on it. And it happened to be the Amish cruise, so it's all. I thought they were. Who even know they could go on a boat?
I know.
But they have their little hats on and their little suspenders on, and they looked like they were about ready to. They didn't know what hit them as they're pulling into this port. And they have this guy up on stage just mother effering the whole world. Sort of the same thing as your church experience.
Love them. And can we say before we go any further?
Yeah.
For all the people in Cleveland. Can we say it?
Say it.
That the king is coming home.
Say it.
He is.
Can we say the king is coming home?
Okay.
I actually saw you at a Cavaliers game one time. I was sitting. It was. Let's see. LeBron James was doing a roast. He must have performed at this. Yes. And I was there with Ralphie May, and we were sitting, I think, one row behind you. And it was interesting to watch this because people were buying you. I saw at one point somebody in the crowd bought Monique like a frozen slushie and like had someone send it down like she's gonna eat this frozen slushie or whatever. It was very bizarre. That it was strange.
See, for me, not bizarre because it's family.
Yeah.
It's and I'm very grateful for the relationship that I've been able to establish with what people would call fans. They're not my fans. They're my family members. They're my bosses. I work for those people. So when I've listen, people have bought me pies. Okay. People have bought me turkey dinners.
Okay.
Now y'all stop bringing me all this damn food. Okay.
Okay.
But it's just that kind of love that they've always embraced to me and said, you like family to us. So I'm very grateful for that. And whoever brought me that slushie,
okay,
it was flushed of something else.
Let me ask you. You have a dress on. She has a black dress on. It's above her knees right now. I was expecting to see hairy legs because you are known for not shaving your legs, but your legs look very, very smooth.
Well, there was a time I would not shave my legs because where I'm from, Baltimore, Maryland, that's not something that women did because our men find it very attractive. And it was funny to me when it first hit the news, when I think was I on the Golden Globe carpet, and it became this big deal. I'm like, guys, I've been in Hollywood for over 20 years, and now all of a sudden it's major news.
Yeah.
It just really made me laugh because once the white media got a hold of it, it was, oh my God, Monique's a bear. I am, but that's beside the point. I didn't know it was such an issue. So one night, and now that I'm an older woman, I'm 46, one night my husband and I were standing in the closet, and he said, Mama, you're starting to get patches. I said, patches where? He said, look down. And the hair had begun to fall out in just certain places. So it looked like I had the mangies. Okay? So that night we decided we was going to take it off because I didn't want to walk around like I had the mangy. And you're going to laugh at the I had the mangy on my legs, baby.
Now this is interesting, and because I think people sort of downplay the differences in race, and they want to, everything's racial harmony, and in a lot of ways there is, but there are cultural differences between blacks and whites that people sometimes try to minimize because they don't want to, we're all the same. There are just cultural differences. Now, call me stupid. I had no idea that in the black community that it's normal not to shave legs.
Well, see, in our community, it's very natural to be naturally beautiful and not to have to disguise it or dress it up or the tanning business is a $1 billion business. Right. So it's for our community, our men says, I want you as natural as possible. When you do take the makeup off, I don't want you to be a different person. When you take your clothes off, I don't want your ass to come off with it. I want you to be all that I think you are. So, I think that it is a little different in each community. For a black woman to be a size 14, she's not considered a big woman. Yeah. She's considered thick. For a white woman to be a size 14, my God, it is shut down the farm. She can't eat another piece of food. So it's those differences that I'm glad that we discuss openly so that we really get a better understanding of each other.
Now, Tone, would you prefer women to be shaved or unshaved their legs?
Listen.
I'm assuming you're a straight guy.
I'm glad you assumed that, okay? And you assumed correctly. Okay? Don't let the socks throw you off.
I guess pink socks,
actually, pink, teal, and yellow and brown stripes. Please, God is in the details. Do you see it? I would prefer just that your legs work. It doesn't matter if they're shaved or if they're unshaved. If they work, that's fine with me. I lived in Germany for 2 years.
Yeah.
If you go to Europe, you go to Germany, get outside the United States sometime, people get your passport stamped. You'll notice the culture is totally different. Women walk around in Germany with their legs hairy, their arms hairy, their armpits. No one says anything about it. It's accepted. That's the way it is. When you come over there clean-shaven legs, they look at you different.
Yeah.
So I think it's just your preference.
What'd you do over there? Were you in the military or something?
I was an engineer.
Yeah, in the Air Force?
Army.
In the Army.
Every time you go across a bridge and you see the Red Castle Corps engineers, you can send me a thank you.
All right.
That's what you did?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
What is that?
Well, actually, I was a structural engineer. So what we did was moving bridges, floating bridges, bridges that would take tanks as well as people from one side of the bank to the other side of the bank. That's what we specialize in.
I'm glad you're a comedian.
Okay? Because I couldn't be out there building no bridges now. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Y'all, if my brother done built y'all a bridge, I want y'all to be careful. I want y'all to be careful when you get over there because, because there were a lot of earthly things over there.
Yes, I was a horticulturist.
Yes.
Okay, part-time.
And if you participated in Haltrian and Cultrian, at the time them bridges were going up,
it could be a couple pins missing here and there, but I felt good the whole time. I felt good about myself.
Reach out and touch.
Now, Monique is here with us, and Tone at Tone X.
Tone X.
Opening up for her. This is tonight at the Improv, 7:30 and 10:15 tonight, and one show tomorrow night, 10:15, or maybe there's two. I don't know, but it just says 10:15. Maybe those are the only tickets are still available for the 10:15.
The only tickets available for tonight's shows. Tomorrow's shows are gone.
Oh, okay, all right. So tonight, 7:30 and 10:15, you can go see them at the Improv. How did you make the leap from from comedy to acting, Monique?
You know, I didn't make the leap. I was invited. And the Parkers was the first thing that, as far as acting, that I received. And I remember when I first got that show, Dorian Wilson, who played the professor, because coming from the stand-up world, and when you go into the sitcom world, well, in the stand-up world, it's single. It's just you. You're up on that stage, and it is all about you in that moment. It is your job to carry that show when it's your time. Well, when I went to television, I didn't realize there was a cast of people around me. So I still felt like I had to carry it every time. So every time it was my line, baby, I was punching it. I was punching that damn line so hard, you'd have thought I was Floyd Mayweather. Okay. Until the professor said, "Can I talk to you for a second, please?" Mm-hmm. Do you see all these other people here? Mm-hmm. We need a turn too. So, you know, I was really invited into it, and I really enjoy it.
But then you eventually made you were in the movie Precious.
Yes.
In a dramatic role. Is that the first dramatic role that you did? I mean, because that's
all
very
through,
heavy
yes.
material. I mean, that's
all the way through.
Mm-hmm. Who was the person that decided Monique would be great for this role? Did you seek that role out, or did they approach you to do that?
Lee Daniels, who was the director, called me up and said, "I have something for you, and I'm going to send it to you." And he overnighted me the book Precious. It was called Push. The book Push and the script. And by the time I got to page 10, I called him up and said, "What in the hell is this?" I said, "If we do it right, we save lives." So it was Lee Daniels made a phone call. I said yes, and there was the movie Precious.
Yeah, I always kind of like people who are comedians doing. I like to see them in roles that you don't really expect. I enjoy that. I'll tell you what, the girl that was in that movie,
Gabourey Sidibe.
She, I have to give her credit. When that movie came out, I think I even said it on the show. I go, this chick. I mean, just because she's so big. I go, she's. This is it. It's one and done for her. She got awards and everything, but they're not going to give her any other roles. She's been very successful since
But
then.
and I'm glad that you guys were courageous enough to say that out loud, because when I think about the young lady who's in the movie now, Tammy, what's her name?
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
No one has ever said after her first thing, no one ever was going to give her anything else, because she's a big white woman. Mm-hmm. So it was never questioned. Well, the moment Gabourey Sidibe came on the scene, everybody questioned it. Will she ever work again? And it's like, well, what's the difference, guys? And that, again, when we talk openly about it and we see how it happens, we say, well, why is it such a difference? Mm-hmm. And why do we doubt that this woman would ever work again, but we praise this woman? Is it because one is white and one is black? And the story behind Gabourey Sidibe, which people don't know the backstory, that young lady had never been in front of a camera. That young lady had never acted before in her life. She was the last person to audition. She walked down the street in New York. If she went to the right, that was her college. If she made the left, that was the building for the audition. She got to the corner, and that was her crossroad. And she said, what the hell, I'm going to make the left. Well, her making that left changed her life.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And when I met her, what threw me off was when I met her and when she started talking, oh, my God, and I'm just, Monique, how are you? And then when Lee Daniels said action, I said, my God, to watch that transformation, she was absolutely phenomenal. And in my humble opinion, she was supposed to receive every award that could have been given during that time, because hands down, she was the greatest actress that year to be a lead character in any role.
I think people didn't know because they didn't know, like you said, you met her, so you understood what a great job at acting she was doing. But because she was an unknown, I think people probably didn't know that she was doing such a great job acting. It's like Eminem in that movie 8 Mile. Everyone just assumed. I thought he was fantastic in that, but everyone goes, well, that's just the way he is. You know, he's playing himself, so that's not difficult. So they if they didn't know her,
she was precious.
That's right. That's what
I'm saying. And that's what made it so beautiful. And once they got a chance to know her, well, now you know that she's Gabourey Sidibe and not Precious. So once you were able to determine and distinguish that this young lady is an amazing actress, she was supposed to just sweep the award season.
How many kids do you have, Monique?
4.
4 kids. How
Yes.
old are they now?
24, 11, and the twins are 8.
And the twins are 8. You adopted the second child. Is that accurate? No?
No.
Where am I getting my info
I
from?
don't
What
know,
the-
baby. Don't go
what
to
the-
Wikipedia.
Get off of that.
It's at 25 years old. She adopted her second child with her future husband, Mark Jackson. That's what it says right
right
here.
here, I see it.
In
No,
1992. So you did not adopt a.
Did not.
Because I was going to say, I go, okay, so you had a child in 1990, then you adopted in 92, then you had twins years later.
I'm
I was
fast.
going to ask you what the hell.
That's when the elderly women say she fast.
Production.
She is. Don't wait a minute, sugar. Don't
what
say
the
that.
elderly people say.
No,
I
that's
was
what you
tapping
just
adding
said.
on. I
Did
did.
you hear him say I was in a production line? Don't do that, sugar. Be like, okay, put some arms on that one. Okay. Well, then come on, talk to me. Then don't act like you don't want to talk to me while we on the radio. You gonna act like you ain't gonna talk to me,
I'm
right?
not going to do that.
Okay.
I'm going to talk to you.
Is it tough coming in? You're on the road. You have a
Yes.
lot of obligations, but you have these 8-year-old twins.
Yes.
Do they ever come with you, or are you just gone for a few days?
I have an amazing husband,
Yeah.
and they have an incredible daddy. So I do what I do, and there's FaceTime.
Yeah.
Technology, baby, will let you see your babies every day if you want to. Now, some of y'all don't want to see your damn children. Some of y'all like, listen, break it. I left here because I don't want to see them. But, and it can be a little challenging.
Yeah.
It really can. This has been the longest run that I've had without seeing my family physically.
Yeah.
So, but it's what I do. It's what we do. Right. Tone has a beautiful wife and 2 beautiful children, and we've been doing it now for over 20 years, so it's really what we do. How does Lundy Bun handle that when Daddy got to go?
Lundy Bun, he just asked me, where are you going? And then I tell him I'm going to bring him something back, and he's like, okay. And then when I get home, he's the first person to meet me at the top of the stairs, and he jumps into my arms, and that is the best feeling, because I could be making $1 million a show, but if your family don't think you hitting on nothing, then that $1 million ain't doing nothing for you, but just making you a big bank account because you're losing as a father, as a husband, as a parent. So it's the best feeling.
Now, speaking of money, you must sometimes have to pinch yourself. I'm just taking a wild guess that you grew up in a very modest household.
Tell me why you're guessing that. Why are you taking that wild guess?
Baltimore?
Yes.
And black.
Yes.
I've been to Baltimore, and there are very, very poor neighborhoods there. And so that's why I'm making the assumption.
I
correct or
absolutely
false?
love your honesty, but if my father heard you saying that, the conversation he would give you on this radio, you would turn 25 shades of red. My father is a psychologist, and my mother worked at Westinghouse. And we lived in the suburbs all of my life with a big backyard and a home, and everyone had their own bedrooms. So you're not the first white guy on the radio to say, I'm sure you came up in a poor upbringing. And I say, well, what makes you think that? Because
do black people ever make that assumption though?
No.
Hearing that you're from Baltimore, and because
Baltimore has Owens Mills, it has Towson, Maryland has the suburbs. You've just gone to Baltimore, but there's suburban areas to Maryland. And when I go to, he said, do the black people? No, because they know. It's almost like it's an assumption that we've all started off and it was bad. It's not like that for everybody. And I'm not knocking anybody's upbringing, because we all have our stories. But the assumption is thrown out there to say, well, I know you had to have a modest upbringing. I know you had to have.
I did say I assume. I
You
said I
did.
didn't know.
Now, what
but
does assume mean? Break it down for him, Tony.
ass of you and me.
Ass of
Okay,
you and me,
then. Now
he
bring
knows it.
Malcolm X in here.
Okay.
I am Malcolm X.
I am Malcolm X.
Your father, a psychologist, you said?
Yes.
He must have, when you, at some point, you must have told him, I want to go down this career path of comedy, I'm
Yes.
guessing. What did he say? Because my parents wanted me, that my mom is now a lawyer. She was a nurse, and my stepfather was a doctor. They wanted me to go into medicine, and I wasn't interested in that at all. They were very disappointed. Was your father, when you said, I want to do comedy, I want to get into the entertainment business, what did he say? Was he supportive, or did he say, this is nuts?
My parents said, Nikki, go do you. My parents have always given us the freedom to be who we chose to be. It wasn't, well, we want this for you. We were always given the freedom to be what we wanted to be. So when I said, I'm going down to Berks to do open mic night, my dad was like, for real, Nikki? Oh, wow. So, it wasn't that they ever felt like, well, we want you to be this. We were always given the freedom to be whatever path we chose.
If you what do you think you would have ended up doing if you went up on that first time that your brother dared you, and you either hated it or you bombed or whatever? What do you think your life would have taken you?
I think I would have been a singer.
Yeah.
Yes, because I think, now he just looked up like, baby, wait a minute, what? Don't I have the voice of a singer? Don't I?
Yes.
I have the voice of a singer, baby, because that I would have been one old blues cabaret singer. Okay. Come on with it now.
Okay.
Where do you live now? In Los Angeles? Is that
sometimes?
So you live, okay.
Yeah.
And then where else do you? Do you just
where I feel like
wherever you're.
I want to sing a song because I feel it. What you thinking, baby? Because listen, don't look at me side-eye. I have the spirit.
What do you want to sing? What do you want to sing?
What do I want to sing?
What do you want to sing?
Went out last night, had a great big fight. Everything seemed to go wrong. I looked up. To my surprise, the girl I was with was gone. Oh, where she went, I don't know. I need to follow everywhere she goes. Oh, folks say I'm crooked. I didn't know where she took it. I want the whole world to know. They ain't ready for it.
You go.
Give me my contract.
Wow. Okay.
Somebody call Puffy. Somebody call Puffy for me.
Now, wait a second. Just because I'm a white guy, I have to make a comment about how she learned how to sing in the Baptist church growing up, right?
God.
I love you. Oh, Lord, I love you, baby.
Monique
Yes.
and Tonex going to be at the Improv tonight at 7:30 and 10:15. All the shows tomorrow are sold out. I'm going to give you the number to purchase tickets. It's 216-696-4677. That's 216-696-4677. The last thing I want to ask you about, a few years ago, I don't know how many years it was, your brother who went on Oprah, who had abused you when
Did
you were.
you see that?
I read about it. I remember when it happened. I don't think I saw it at the time. I remember, in all honesty, I remember vaguely because this was what, five years
it's
ago?
been a while.
Roughly? 5 years ago. And of course, it's in my prep here. He abused you when you were a youngster.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any? First of all, did he come out and do that, or did you call him out and he felt the need to go on Oprah and say that, or he just came out of the woodwork and went on Oprah and did that? Did you?
I hadn't talked to my brother in years.
Did Oprah call you and tell you that?
Oprah did call me.
So she gave you a heads up and said.
Oprah called me at home. On my home number, y'all. Okay, I just want to let y'all know who's calling my home
now,
phone.
did you know Oprah and have a relationship with her prior to that, or did you?
I know Oprah.
Okay.
And I got a telephone call from Oprah, and she said, "Hey, your brother wants to come on the show and apologize to you and tell other people how to watch out for predators." So she said, "Would you like to be a part of it?" I said, "I don't want to have anything to do with that." I said, "And the guy I know, he's up to something slick. So I'm a pass." She said, "If you want me not to do the show, I will not do the show." I said, "Sister, everyone's allowed to change, and my brother could be a different person, and I don't want to block anyone's blessings, so I wish y'all all the best." That was me and Oprah's conversation. But when she called me, I saw Chicago's extension?
312.
I saw the number come up in my phone, so I was going to lock her number in because I felt like she had my damn number. Why shouldn't I have Oprah's damn number? Well, when she hung up, the number disappeared as if she never called. What in the hell? Okay. When she hung up, the number went away.
You must have been blown away, though. If you didn't have any head, if Oprah calls you, I mean, you must have been.
Well, that was like her third time calling, so, that time, she's called me for other things, but when she called that time.
But that must have stunned you that she said that your brother wanted to come on the show.
It did, and it was even more stunning when I saw my mother and my father.
They went on the show.
And my other brother. I'm like, now, Oprah, you ain't tell me about all these people, sugar. You said my brother. You said my brother, Oprah, my brother.
Did how did this make you feel? Because that's a very, very personal experience that you went through. And then now you have a group of people, your brothers, talking about this. That could be very painful to you. And I'm guessing your parents must have said, hey, is it okay to go and talk about this?
No.
They didn't.
No. And not painful at all, because it was a part of my life, and my husband really got me through that. And therapy really got me through that, and it allowed me to understand I had nothing to do with that. I just happened to be there. I was very grateful that the world got a chance to see the face to that person. So now when other women, and my brother's a charmer. He's a nice-looking guy, and he's a charmer, but he just has that sickness. So I said, well, let the world see that face. So when other women meet my brother, if they have daughters, they will now know, okay, this guy is capable of doing this. Again, people can change. But it made me feel a sigh of relief. Because when you do put that out there and someone's saying deny, I never did it. And once he came out and said, I did do that. It was like, you know what? That's really going to save people's lives.
When did your parents find out? Did you tell them when you were young, or did you wait till you're much older, or how did they find out?
I told them when I was 15.
And they must have been, they had no idea, obviously. They must have been shocked.
I'll say this, and I'll say this to the people that are listening right now. Pay attention to your children. Pay attention to the way they're talking to you. Pay attention to the way they're walking. Pay attention to everything about your baby, because there are signs. There are signals that you give off. Even in your fear, there are things that you give off to say something's different about me. So for the sisters that's listening, for the brothers that's listening, if you got a small child, if you have a teenage child, just pay attention to him.
What age did it start? Like when?
I was 7 years old.
So 7. So you okay? So. Your behavior is what you're saying probably would have changed at that point. But what's amazing to me is that your dad was a psychologist, and he didn't even pick up on it.
Because my dad is also human.
Yeah.
As we all are.
Yeah.
And I don't fault my parents. I don't blame them. There was a time that I felt like you guys should have done something, but then I had to understand people are just human.
Now that you have kids,
yes.
Are you extra paranoid about every person that comes in contact with your children? I mean, everyone should be paranoid about that kind of stuff. But
not paranoid, but you're just very aware. But if you're paranoid, that makes life miserable to be paranoid. But it just makes you more aware, and it makes you pay attention.
And any contact with your brother, or you don't want to have any contact with him at all, which is understandable.
My brother well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monique is going to be at the Improv tonight at 7:30.
That feels like dun 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 dun. And we trying to sell damn comedy tickets. Right. Okay, I'm not gonna have it. I'm not gonna have it.
We need to end on a high note. Is what you're telling me?
I feel another song.
Who said a high note?
Coming on to my heart. What you feel? A high note.
Okay.
Big wheels keep on turning.
Boom, boom, boom.
Proud Mary, keep on burning.
Boom. And we're rolling.
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 Rolling on the river. You better sing it.
I had a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day.
You better sing it.
And I never lost 1 minute of sleep, worrying about the things they might have said. Big wheels keep on turning.
Boom, 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 boom.
Mary, keep on burning.
You better sing it, girl.
Rolling.
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 Rolling on the river.
Rolling up some.
Now,
wait a
see,
minute.
this is why, though, you out the group.
Because you're not.
I'm looking at her. I'm looking
or nothing.
Now, I don't know.
This is why this is a problem.
Tell me who this is. Who else is on the couch, and what her role in your entourage is.
She's an ICAC.
Right.
She's an ICAC.
One of the first.
One of the first ICACs.
Okay.
Not an ICAC. She's an ICAC.
ICAC.
And she does what for you? What do you?
Everything Lena Palm does not do, Robin Lee does.
She's over here. You're singing, and she looks like she has a bout of diarrhea about right there. She's looking down.
Be a part of the fiasco. She don't want to be a part of this fiasco.
Listen, what I'm gonna need you to do, okay, moving forward. When we go into you got to come with this. Right. Okay, we got to pay homage to Ike and Tina Turner. Right. You don't be doing what we practice. That's what the situation is.
Messing up the cake.
You messing up the cake. I don't want the cake, Ike.
You
I
gonna
don't
eat
want
the
the
cake.
cake.
You gonna eat the cake right in front of him? Right in front of him. You gonna eat that cake today. I tell you that.
I don't want the cake.
Listen, you guys have been fantastic.
Thank you, my love.
I'll tell you what. I'll be honest with you. Tone, you've been okay. Most of the time we don't let opening acts come in here, but Monique was insistent on having.
Let me tell you
come in
why.
here. Okay.
Because he's not an opening act.
Okay.
He's a headliner. But I asked him, and we've been doing this for over 20 years together. And I asked him, come on out and play with me, man. Let's go on the road and play.
So you guys have known each other for 20 years.
Yes.
He comes out on the road with you often.
His wife and my husband are first cousins.
Okay.
Now, we didn't find that out.
Right. Until later down
way
the road.
later in life. But I say that I've been on the stage with some of the greatest that we would consider to be the greatest. And this brother sitting to my left is truly one of the greatest comedians that I've ever had the pleasure of gracing the same stage with. So what do you always say? Don't cheat yourself.
Don't cheat yourself. Cleveland, treat yourself. You want to come out tonight. It is Funny Fridays with Miss Monique and Tone X, the funniest comedian you probably never heard of, but should have.
And we got 2 tickets at the door for you, LeBron.
LeBron.
Yeah, 2 of them. No, you asked for 4, and that's just
He
too
asked
much.
for 6.
Oh, damn. We got 2 of them for you, Bron.
Right.
2 of them tickets.
Yeah. So you're a LeBron fan. You did his thing.
Let me
you
tell
like
you
him.
something.
Uh-oh.
Not only am I a basketball fan of LeBron's, I'm a fan of that brother's human side.
Talk to him.
Because what he's doing right now for the state of Ohio and the city of Cleveland is absolutely beautiful. When that brother says, I want to go back and make a difference in my community, do you know what that says?
I'll tell you something. We all hated LeBron. Everyone in the city hated LeBron 4 years ago.
I was going to fight all of y'all because what y'all was not going to do was hate on my brother burning T-shirts.
This letter that he wrote this letter that he wrote in Sports Illustrated was very poignant, though. It was right on the mark. Now I have to admit I'm not a huge LeBron fan. The same time that I saw you at that game, we went back and into the locker room and hung out with LeBron for a little bit, and he came off. I'll be honest with you, a little bit arrogant. At least that's the vibe that I got. Now I know that sometimes you run into people. They could be having a bad day. They could, people have probably run into me, and I've been not trying to be a dick, but maybe you come off as being a dick or whatever. That's my encounter with with him. So I think he's a little older and wiser now, and what he did to the city 4 years ago with that decision was a horrible way that he did that he left and he went on TV. He doesn't tell the owner of the team. It let the whole city down, and we felt betrayed. We felt like a wife who found out that that her husband's cheating on her.
But you know what really made me because it was so much around that and how the city was upset. But did anybody ever step back and say this man has to make the right decisions for his family? Because it was so selfish to say, look what he did to the city. Look what he did to us. It's like, no, guys. This man has to make the right decisions for his family.
I don't think anyone faulted him for going to Miami. I think it was all in the way that he did it, and sort of was like, hey, it made almost like a triumphant. I'm leaving. That's the way we took it.
I think the key is when you were talking about how you met him before and to now. It's the maturation process, and that's what I love about LeBron James. I love the sport of basketball. But what I love about LeBron, of course, he's the greatest player in the world. We can see that. But his maturation process, the way he did the decision compared to now with the letter, the sincerity. You obviously know he didn't do it for the money. 2-year, $42 million deal. Of course he didn't. But his heart is in the right place. I saw somebody put on Twitter, and this stuck with me, and it still sticks with me. It said, ironically, it wasn't the Cleveland Cavalier fans that showed forgiveness today. It was LeBron James. So you have to think about a young black man coming back to Ohio and the way that he left. And we saw the jerseys get burned. And
Oh,
we
yeah.
saw what the owner said in his statement, that we'll win a championship way before LeBron does. Yeah, maybe on PS3, but not in reality. But to come back
Yeah.
and still want to make an impact for a state, for a city, for your hometown, the maturation
Well, yeah,
process is
he's. I
incredible.
think he's older. He's wiser,
Exactly.
and he is. He's. I'll give you before I let you go. He was young, and speaking of humble upbringings, he definitely had humble upbringings down in Akron. He had no money. He was bouncing from house to house. So to find yourself thrust into the NBA and all you have all this money is difficult. People think it would be very easy. But you have a bunch of money, but you also have a bunch of people pulling at you, wanting money. It's difficult. The other person that I saw, I get on Wikipedia sometimes in the middle, or I'm doing work at night, and then I read something. I want to find out more about it, so I'll Google it or I'll Wikipedia it or whatever. Chris Brown. Now, we all know that Chris Brown and the Rihanna thing, we know what happened with that. But what I did not realize, I don't know anything about Chris Brown, but I just, for whatever reason, happened to read up on Chris Brown. I didn't realize this kid is only, I think now he's 25. So at the time that this Rihanna thing happened, the guy was only like 19 years old.
Yeah, young guy.
I guess I didn't put that into perspective at the time that it happened. I'm not saying that what he did was right. Obviously, it's not. But I always go, man, this Chris Brown guy, what a douche. This guy's just can't stand the guy. Then I realized how young he was. That he got into the business at a very young age, and I know that can be extremely difficult. I don't know why I'm telling you that, but I just.
Well, I mean, when you take a kid like Justin Bieber,
Yeah.
and you give this baby all this money. Well, he's very talented. You can't take it away from him.
Right.
But it's so much money. It's so much fame. And they say, well, he's egging houses. He's peeing in buckets at restaurants.
I
and
did
he's
that kind of
doing
stuff too when I was a kid.
Well, he's a kid.
People weren't taking pictures of it though and sending it to TMZ.
We want to hold them to a different standard because they have so much money. It doesn't change the fact that they're these kids.
Yeah.
They're still these babies, and we want to crucify these babies for doing what kids do.
Yeah.
So for Chris Brown, for Justin Bieber, and Miley Cyrus, who I just adore. I love her at Hannah Montana. I love her as Miley Cyrus.
Okay.
But we have to say, give them a chance to grow.
Monique's going to pee in a bucket backstage at the Improv tonight, just like
Never,
Bieber.
baby. Never,
I
ever.
might twerk though.
Go.
Okay, you might
You said
twerk.
Miley Cyrus. I might twerk.
You might twerk.
All right.
Here's the number to call for tickets. 216-696-4677. That's 216-696-4677. Two shows tonight at the Improv, 7:30 and 10:15. Monique, or your website, Monique, is it MoniqueWorldwide.org? Is that your website?
MoniqueWorldwide.com.
.com. Okay.
And the Twitter is @MoWorldwide. And Tone's Twitter is.
At ToneX
But
Comedy.
don't lean on me like
Well,
that.
I was just trying to talk into
Okay,
the
but you leaned in.
It's Ramadan. You know I'm
Okay,
not
it's
aggressive.
Ramadan.
Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you, my love.
Have a good shows tonight, and enjoy your weekend here. Maybe you'll run into LeBron. Maybe he'll come out
Got your
and
tickets.
see you. I have to take a quick break. We'll be right back on Rover's Morning Glory. Hang on.
Rover's Morning Glory.